Step 1, wake up early, gon' rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, fuck everybody, just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gon' rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, fuck everybody, just do your thing.
Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Too many things going on, I can't keep track of them all. From people dropping a bomb to people putting up walls. I feel like life is on hold, perception stuck in a vault. I know that time can heal all, but how much time till we fall? It's awfully chilly outside when there's no shelter to hide. When everything is a lie, you'll find that out in some time. But when the things on your mind are all considered a crime, communication aside, we'll all just fight till we die. Is this an argument or just the start of it? Either way, I don't wanna be a part of it. Can I just get some space? I don't have the heart for this. I can't be picking up the pieces, fixing scars from this. Is this an argument or just the start of it? I wanna drive away so I can be so far from it. I wanna find a place where no one breaks their promises. Or maybe drown myself in something that is bottomless. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. I know that things seem bad, but they could be much worse. There's always someone else who has a greater curse. A greater thirst, a hunger, pain, and mercy. Just find whatever you got and try to be thankful first. I wanna feel again, I need a couple friends. I never really understood just how the story ends, but I can feel it's tense, don't know the consequence. The volatility of life, my only confidence. Is this an argument, or just the start of it? Either way, I don't wanna be a part of it. Can I just get some space? I don't have the heart for this. I can't be picking up the pieces, fixing scars from this. Is this an argument, or just the start of it? I wanna drive away so I can be so far from it. I wanna find a place where no one breaks their promises, or maybe drown myself in something that is bottomless. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small, way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small, way back before we blew it all.
Where people don't break their promises. An age that's past. Welcome back to the program, folks. It is Monday, January 29th, 2024. This is Chris live in Central Pennsylvania. I have a rogue beard here and there. Let's get this trimmed up. Come on. Where's it at? Oh, it's just hanging under there. That was disturbing me there. I could see it hanging low. Welcome back, folks. I hope you're well. Trust that you're well around the globe. Let's say hello to everybody in the chat as we get started here. And that, of course, was Nefx, Take Me Back. And today's going to be a good day with the previous song. Both songs by Nefx. Really good music there from these guys. So Arbot was here, got in early, got to hear the music. Loading Monday. John Hoochin in from Arizona. Eric is here, the scientist. The day is almost finished for scientists. Well, not for us on this side of the world. Yeah, the sun is still coming our way. Hiding behind the clouds, but it's coming our way. Trevor Bush says the Democratic Alliance is hosting a Palestinian soccer team. I can find no information on that, Trevor. Is that some sort of local thing? Did you find it on social media? George Steinberg is here. I always want to say George Steinbrenner from the New York Yankees, but George Steinberg. And Arbot says, yeah, the day's just getting started for us. Nefx, that's right, Nefx. And Ken Aronson wants to know more about the DA thing, as do I. Inquiring minds would like to know. Right, Dylan Comberg is here as always. And then Matthew Dixon is here. And who else we got? Teresa says, Overstrauss is on fire, started in Hunclip, currently active Pringle Bay and Betty's Bay, Arabella, and still running. Oh, Teresa, thanks for sharing that news on the Western Cape fires that are still going on. Huh. Have you listened to Ben's new song? Ben who? Ben Shapiro? That's not really Ben Shapiro, is it? Have I been to the dentist today? No, my dental appointment's after this broadcast, a little bit after that. So I'll be going this afternoon. But it is cold outside, ladies and baby, it's cold outside. A creepy Christmas song, right? Yeah, no, not even close. Nice try. Where is my, all of a sudden my weather doesn't come up anymore. I used to have it down. There we go. Come on, show me the weather. 40. It feels a lot colder than 40 degrees, folks. It's 40 degrees Fahrenheit. I spent a few minutes out there, 10 minutes earlier, doing a live broadcast about announcing that Jacob Zuma had been suspended by the African National Congress, and that hair is back. That kid is on the escalator again. Inside joke, Kevin Smith movie. 40 degrees Fahrenheit, but my hands were numb in just 10 minutes. That's how cold it is. The wind is blowing quite heavily out there. Quite strongly. Right. Philip van Niekerk is here. Welcome. Fleshen's in from the 15-minute city of Oxford, the land of erudite, cogent intellectuals. Not Fleshen. He's just a dude. What else you got here? Nick Muller's here. And we've got Jax is back. Oh, my goodness, Jax. I thought you were boycotting, so we hadn't seen you while. I take you've been very busy. Greetings, hope all are well and weathering 2024. Well, hang tight, Jax. You're going to hear a story later in the news program about that story in Mississippi that Brett alerted us to. Brett Sessoms told us about this, about the Walmart employee who was fired filming a woman who had her child in the grocery store in a diaper and a trash bag. The child was freezing in sub-freezing temperatures in Mississippi, teeth chattering away in the store, and this rude, disrespectful, arrogant, nasty human being. Shame that people like that are able to breed and reproduce. She was very rude. By the way, the story's about a young black woman. But I'm going to make a point of this right now. All the people in the Walmart who confronted her, the woman who filmed the stuff, apparently are all black. So have fun with that, you race hustlers. Dan is here. Welcome. Arctic is back. Hey, Arctic. Hey, what's going on, man? What's that pressure altitude like today? Just checking. A little aviation information there. Pressure altitude. It's cold outside. Baby, it's cold outside. Hey, Garrett, how's it going? It's not cold in Somerset West, I guarantee that. Very windy in Cape Town, I believe that, Trevor. And it started raining, says Erica. Mall rats. Aha! Arbot knows that. That kid's on the escalator again. 1 year goes by without some bastard child killed on an escalator. Oh, mall rats. Excellent. All right. New respect for Arbot. New respect for Arbot. Not that we didn't have respect, but he knows mall rats. One of my favorite movies of all times. Jay and Silent Bob. Hi, I'm Jay, and this is my hetero life mate, Silent Bob. Don't care, day off. Oh, Arctic doesn't care about the pressure altitude today. Well, I'm glad you got a day off. Good to see you there. In Constantia, it's also windy. Well, at that whole Western Cape, man, it's coming along there. Scientist says all blacks, so they're from New Zealand. No, not quite. Testy Kills. 35, as always, in KZN. Well, that is an interesting username. We'll have to leave it at that. Testy Kills. Charles Van Onsel is here. Folks, the IQ of the room has just risen significantly. Welcome, Charles. Good to see you again. It's freaking hot in KZN. No doubt. No doubt. 35 degrees in KZN, says Testy Kills. Yep. All right. Well, it isn't always like that. It's nicer in the wintertime. YouTube is telling me to put an advert in right here. I'm not going to do that to you. Thanks to the 50 people currently watching this. Yeah, I haven't seen Ben Shapiro's thing. Oh, it's with Tom McDonald. Does he actually sing with Tom McDonald? I keep hearing about it, but I've been a little bit busy. You're very welcome, Charles. Okay, let's get to the news, folks, and we'll start right off with this story in South Africa. The African National Congress National Executive Committee has suspended Jacob Zuma. The former president of the Republic has been suspended by his own party. That would be like the Republicans suspending Donald Trump. That ain't going to happen. The Republican Party would disintegrate. It would absolutely disintegrate. Well, let's get to this story here. Times Live reporting this story. Kosisatso Madisa reporting. The African National Congress's National Executive Committee has decided to summarily suspend Jacob Zuma as a member. According to sources in the NEC, the meeting opted for going the long route of taking him through a disciplinary process rather than immediate expulsion. Some members of the NEC argued bitterly, according to sources, that they wanted the immediate expulsion of Jacob Zuma from the party. Others said, no. That'll just make him a martyr, and that will take support away. It's an election year, after all, so there you go. Paul Mashatile is being raked over the coals, and good for him, by, of all publications, captured news network News 24, which likes to spew misinformation, disinformation, and fake fact-checking all the time. You decide for yourself whether you think that's true or not. That's simply opinion, not fact. So, News 24, the deputy president's son-in-law snaps up $28 million Constantia Palace, but owes Gauteng $7 million. Paul Mashatile's son-in-law, Nkebe Onkwelo, bought a second luxury property which is available for the deputy president to use. Through his company, paid $28.9 million for a home in Constantia. That's all? $28.9 million? That's not even $2 million. Let's see. I'm going to go look at my bank account and see if I've got that. I'll buy that place. And I don't need the pool, though. We can turn the pool into a tomato garden. It was bought just 3 months after he moved into the 37 million rand home in Waterfall, also paid for by Unquelo through another company. Deputy President Paul Mashatile now has a swanky Cape Town home to use when he visits some other city. A $28.9 million 7-bedroom mansion in Constantia. Well, I'll tell you what, at apartheid, that's really rough on these elites in the ANC. I'm telling you, it's a challenge overcoming the systemic racism, the disparities of the past. Boy, that Paul Mashatile, he seems doing quite well. I mean, my house isn't even a fraction of that. Wow. On January 15th, the company was renamed the Duntlaw Guest House to cover up, apparently, and take it away from the name that was associated with Mashatile. In the space of 3 months between March and May of last year, Unquelo, through his business entities, funded the purchase of properties that would be for Mashatile's ultimate benefit, worth an astonishing 65.9 million rand. Now, this is despite the fact that Unquelo owes the Gauteng Partnership Fund, a failed housing project in Johannesburg, 7 million rand. Just scumbag criminals. That's what these people are, stealing from everyone. Unbelievable. That's a gorgeous looking house, scientists. And hang tight, folks. If you're looking for a combination, I've got some good news stories today, not just the bad news. We've got some good news. But next, John Steenhuisen calls for Ramaphosa to fire the corrupt Deputy President Paul Mashatile. DA leader John Steenhuisen has threatened to take action should President Ramaphosa not fire his allegedly corrupt deputy Paul Mashatile. Official opposition party says corruption allegations have piled up against Mashatile in recent months, and Ramaphosa should axe him. We demand that Ramaphosa fire Mashatile and direct Special Investigating Unit to launch an urgent investigation into damning allegations of corruption and capture involving his number two. While I don't disagree with John Steenhuisen at all, and in fact I'm glad he's calling for this, so what? What does it matter? Ladies and gentlemen, the Special Investigating Unit found prima facie evidence. By the way, it was a Joe Biden. It's a tell. When Joe Biden does this, he's about to lie. When Elizabeth Montgomery did this, mischief was about to ensue. From Bewitched. Anyway, back to the point. So the Special Investigating Unit found that Dr. Zweli Mkhize had committed crimes and must be prosecuted for them. That was, 3 years ago? Digital Vibes? 3 years ago. Digital Vibes, corruption. Zweli Mkhize still resides in the parliament, sucking money off the teat of the taxpayer. A man who the Special Investigating Unit said is a criminal. They have the evidence. We haven't even had a charge. The only action against Zweli Mkhize is he was sacked as the health minister and Joe Paula took over. So what? So I agree with John Steenhuisen. The Special Investigating Unit should investigate Paul Mashatile, but News 24 seems doing a fantastic job of that all on their own. The ANC is not going to do anything to Paul Mashatile, to Ace Magashule, to Zandile Gumeda, to any of these people accused of heinous theft against South Africans. It just isn't going to happen, folks. Isn't going to happen. Well, the lawless Wild West behavior of South Africans continues unabated. The Johannesburg Council Chief Whip was wounded and the Rand Water executive killed in a shooting. Johannesburg Council Chief Whip Sitembuzo Zungu was wounded. 2 other people were killed in a shooting at the Rand Water event in Zakaria Park. The Gauteng police spokesperson Colonel Dimakatso Nyahuluhului said several suspects entered the hall and opened fire before fleeing. 2 people were declared dead on the scene while 3 others were taken to hospital with gunshot wounds. The motive of the shooting is unknown at this stage. Council Speaker Margaret Arnold said Zunga, who had been attending to official council business, was receiving medical attention. In a statement released on Monday, Rand Water said one of its executives was among the dead. Its spokesperson, Makenzo Moru, added the incident happened during one of Rand Water's back-to-school campaigns. As an organization, we ask the media to please respect the highly sensitive nature of this incident. People are walking in broad daylight at public events and gunning down, assassinating public officials. This isn't a one-off. This is happening all the time. Unbelievable. Well, the captured South African Human Rights Commission has published its report, and of course it's a racist report demonizing ethnic minorities and ignoring all of the crimes committed by all people. Once again, the captured South African Human Rights Commission. The commission's work on the July 2021 unrest report, it's an insurrection. Let me help you with that. Very important for the commissioner to understand. The South African Human Rights Commissioner, File Ntule, clearly has the wrong terminology. She said the commission concluded that organized groups and individuals opportunistically exploited conditions to usurp the rule of law. The commission's work focused on 4 issues: the social, economic, spatial, and political factors prevalent in the various affected areas, and the extent to which these played a role in the unrest. In other words, their first mission was to excuse the criminal behavior of insurrectionists in KwaZulu-Natal. That was their first task, blaming it on social, economic, spatial, and political factors, none of which justify the horrific carnage that ensued in 2021 with the tacit approval of the African National Congress through its inaction. That was its first mission, to make excuses for the insurrection. Other issues that they looked into: the causes of the allegedly racially motivated attacks and killings in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, virtually everyone who was killed in this incident was black, and virtually all of them were killed by other blacks in South Africa. So I guess some black-hating black South Africans murdered other black South Africans. In a handful of incidents between people of different ethnicities, that's all they're focused on. Not the vast majority of people who were killed in this event, most of whom were committing crimes. The causes of the apparent lapses in law enforcement by state security agencies, particularly South African Police Service, and the role of private security companies in the unrest, particularly SAPs. No. particularly the leadership of the African National Congress, intentionally ignoring this event. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I predicted exactly what was going to happen on June 29th, 2021, when Jacob Zuma was convicted and ordered to go to jail by July 4th, and if not there of his own volition, to be escorted there by the failed Bekele and Dlamini, his police commissioner. Both of whom failed in their jobs, both of whom were in contempt of court. I predicted there would be chaos and looting and rioting and burning and deaths. Now, the scale I couldn't predict. I had no idea that it was actually organized or allowed to occur tacitly by elements within the government, in the bureaucracy, in the police, in crime intelligence, in the military, in the political structures, the National Security Advisor. All of these people are complicit in the failures of the ANC to prevent what happened in July 2021. But they only look at that as the third issue. And finally, the causes of the July unrest with particular focus on Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal. The causes, much of this was organized and precipitated and provoked by the actions of former members of the government and existing members of the government in their internal insurrection. What this report fails to address in those 4 points is that this was an internal insurrection within the ruling party. It was ANC against ANC, and they used idiots to pursue their political objectives. That's what happened in July 2021. I predicted it. I called it. I'm the only broadcaster that covered this stuff every single day live during that time. The only one. The South African Human Rights Commission made a series of findings on and recommendations for each issue, including the South African Police Service and the country's intelligence services. Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Ntuli. Well, as South African Human Rights Commission report says how politics and social media drove the unrest. Social media certainly played a role in facilitating the attacks. South African Captured Human Rights Commission, its investigation into the July 2021 unrest has shown a spotlight on how social media and political factors drove the unrest that resulted in over 350 people being killed and a cost of $50 billion to an already fragile economy. Yeah, well, what you're not reporting here is that this political situation is all the creation of the ruling African National Congress and their failed governance. That's the political situation. Black South Africans, according to the Independent line, black South Africans were attacked during the 2021 arrest based on their race. While indeed that may be true, that may very well be true, ladies and gentlemen, but Jaron Naidu fails to report that Indians, whites, and coloreds were intentionally targeted during the insurrection. Their neighborhoods, their homes, their shops were looted. People were attacked because they were Indian and presumed to be wealthy. People were attacked because they're white and presumed to be wealthy. They were attacked based on their skin color. But this captured report makes no effort to focus on the entire issue. Black South Africans being targeted because they're black is wrong. But so is the situation where white, Indian, and colored South Africans are targeted because they're white, colored, and Indian. But this captured commission is blind to racial discrimination and racial hatred directed against minorities in South Africa because the South African Human Rights Commission is a captured, race-based, hateful, spiteful, despicable, disgusting, vile, repulsive, hideous institution. I think I made my point. That's right, Charles. In Phoenix, they attacked Indians and got shot for it. And then they blamed Indians for attacking black people. Well, black people were attacking Indians. That's why they got shot. Nobody rolled up gangs. See, let's put this in perspective. Did gangs of whites and Indians and coloreds jump in their buckies and drive to black neighborhoods and start shooting and attacking them like happened in Oklahoma in 1920s? No. That's why this is a fraudulent report. It's not even remotely balanced. The July unrest, according to News 24, racism in Phoenix marginalized the local African population. Rights Commission says. Well, first off, the problem with this headline is it's racist. It is racist. What African population? All South Africans are Africans by definition, morons. Do you mean black South Africans? Then say black South Africans. Black South Africans do not have the exclusive ownership and rights to the designation of being African. Afrikaners, Portuguese, coloreds, Indians are all Africans. Stop your bigotry and racism. You will be called out for it each and every day. and the racist black supremacists who run around and make the assumption that Africa is black neglect to include 1/3 of the continent, which is Arab or Berber. Not to mention the vast Indian, Asian, Lebanese communities located throughout Africa that have been there for centuries. Unbelievable. Racism in Phoenix. Yeah, there's racism. The black murderers who came trying to rob Indians. No doubt about it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's no doubt that South Africa is a victim of criminal alien invasion, just like the United States, from our southern and northern border, which I've warned you about many, many times. The northern border has been a serious concern. It's much easier to slip into the U.S. from the Canadian border than it is from the Mexican border. So, South Africa is also a victim of this nonsense. And I've told you about this. And now what do we have happening? Ethiopians from Ethiopia on the other frickin' side of the world, in the northern hemisphere, smuggled through Zimbabwe into South Africa. Armed South African man was arrested while transporting 23 undocumented Ethiopians from Zimbabwe. Let me correct that. They're not undocumented. They're criminal alien invaders who are invading South Africa. They have no right to be there. Police said Sabayeng and Limpopo have arrested 25 undocumented foreign nationals for contravention of the Immigration Act. The group of men aged 20 to 44 were arrested at Solomondale near Polokwane on Saturday. So they were well inside the country when they were finally caught. Police said the Toyota Quantum was from the Beitbridge port of entry linking South Africa with neighboring Zimbabwe. Why wasn't it stopped there? Look at this. All jammed in there. Criminals. Law enforcement team spotted the Toyota Quantum at a filling station along R81 road in Sabayang. And upon checking, discovered 23 Ethiopian men aged 20 and 38 in a 15-passenger cedar bus. The driver of the Quantum was a 44-year-old South African man. All the passengers in the Quantum were illegally smuggled in South Africa from Ethiopia through Zimbabwe. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. But this happens each and every day. South Africa is also under invasion. Member of Parliament suspended. Well, I wonder what she did to fall on the wrong side of the ANC, because they don't suspend people for a crime. Dupuo Peters suspended for PRASA failings. The High Court dismisses urgent application to stop Parliament from taking action. MP Dupuo Peters will be placed on suspension from tomorrow after the dismissal of her urgent application to stop Parliament from taking action. The matter was heard by the Western Cape High Court and was dismissed with cause. The duration of her suspension from her seat in the all parliamentary debates, sittings, and committee meeting-related functions of the parliamentary program will be 1 term. In October last year, the Joint Committee on Ethics and Members' Interests considered a complaint against Peters and found that she had breached the Code of Ethical Conduct in her former portfolio as Transport Minister. Wow, you must really do something serious to piss off somebody in the ANC to be suspended. Ladies and gentlemen, the lawlessness that is South Africa continues with the assassination of Inkatha Freedom Party official. Gunned down in escort. Police spokesman Colonel Robert Netshunde said several shots were fired at Mtokozi Sitole while he was standing near his car. He was the interim secretary of the Mbabazane constituency in escort. No motive is known for this assassination. Is this inside the IFP, or is the ANC once again targeting Inkatha? Who knows? The transport minister reveals 6 bridges are in poor condition and 4 tunnels deemed unsafe in the Western Cape alone. It'll cost the Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa, PRASA, almost 60 million rand to fix 6 bridges found to be in poor condition, while 4 of its tunnels have been deemed unsafe, raising the alarm for safety lapses in the Western Cape. Transport Minister Sindizwe Chikungwa revealed in a State of the Infrastructure response to the written parliamentary question posed by Democratic Alliance member of Parliament Chris Hunsinger about safety and process sites. 61 overhead bridges, including those on Central Line, which remain closed as protracted delays have marred the reopening of the line. Now that line stretches from Cape Town City Center through Khayelitsha and Mitchell's Plain, and they got that many bridges that are down. Wow. Well, Eskom has increased load shedding, 7 different units offline. Well, here every day, folks. We're up, we're down, we're never there. Eskom guarantees the lights are off. Over the past 24 hours, 5 generation units were taken offline for repairs. The state-owned failed utility said these factors have contributed to the shortage of available capacity, necessitating Stage 3 from 4 p.m. Monday until 5 a.m. on Tuesday. Unplanned outages, in other words, failures, 16,473 megawatts, in addition to 7,521 megawatts, which are scheduled. So half of the electricity generation capacity of South Africa is currently offline. No wonder our audiences are challenged to show up, relying on the batteries from their mobiles after recharging them when they had electricity. Well, it's lights out for Gauteng, folks. Traffic light theft is just out of control in Josie. Surge in vandalism and theft targeting traffic lights in Gauteng has cost the province's Department of Roads and Transport over 30 million rand in 2023 alone. Local governments digging even deeper into their pockets. According to the department, over 400 of the province's signalized traffic intersections have been vandalized in the last year, posing a threat to public safety and leading to substantial costs for the Department of rebuilding and replacing stolen equipment. Rebuilding an intersection average cost between 900,000 and 1.5 million rand. High-profile intersections such as Hendrik Potgieter and Christian de Wet are repeatedly vandalized shortly after repairs, incurring costs exceeding 500,000 per repair, which begs the question, why the frick is there no video surveillance or police nearby doing a sting? Why do you repair it and then let people come destroy it? Capture them. Good God. It's not rocket science. Well, alarm bells for South Africa's coal industry, which I've been sounding for years now. The destruction of South Africa's rail lines is crippling South Africa's coal export and products. Yep. Rail inefficiencies have a devastating impact on numerous sectors, coal mining being one of the hardest hit. A new report from consultancy research group Gain looked to quantify what cost inefficient rail transport had on the economy in 2023. The group estimated that the issues in Transnet freight rail led to the loss of around 1 billion rand this past year, and they project the loss was supposed to be 353 billion for the economy, or 5% of the economy. Wow. In 2023, the Richards Bay coal terminal only managed to handle 47.21 million tons, a 6.2% decline from the 50 million tons in 2022, and a further decline from the peak back in 2017 at 76 million tons. That's less than half the capacity of Richards Bay Coal Terminal. The largest coal processing terminal in the world is operating at less than 50% capacity because there's no trains and no rail lines for those trains to run on. Why? Because of vandals and thieves. While the ANC is busy stealing and buying luxury homes in the Western Cape for the corrupt politicians and feeding their patronage network, they've allowed South Africa's inherited infrastructure to degrade and be pilfered. All of them should be lined up, charged, and taken into custody. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a nice location, you should try the Mira in Hermanus. Let's check out the Mira in Hermanus. Here you go. Located on Marine Drive, one of the most prestigious addresses in Hermanus, the Mira at 39 Marine Drive is your haven for a life of luxury at the water's edge. It offers panoramic and protected ocean views for seasoned whale watching, a hobby which Hermanus is very well known for. Alongside its exceptional views and location, the Mira represents extreme luxury at cost, design, and amenities. Live in luxury. A 4-story development features lift access to all floors, an atrium courtyard, a communal landscape deck with a pool, sun loungers, braai facilities, secure parking with CCTV, access control, electric fencing. But does it have solar power? It's Airbnb and pet friendly with full management service on offer for investors who live out of town. I wonder what an apartment costs there in Hermanus. It might be an investment for an Airbnb. Anybody want to go in halvesies with me on that? Anybody want to go halvesies? We can open an Airbnb, and then whenever I'm in Hermanus, I have a place to stay. I'm just saying, since they'll manage it for you. With floor-to-ceiling aluminum glass sliding doors, 39 Marine Drive seamlessly blends indoor and outdoor living, providing a perfect coastal retreat. Oh, yeah. It's also has fiber internet connectivity and it's protected from load shedding thanks to a full backup generator. There you go. There's a view from one of the rooms. Look at that, out over the South Atlantic. Ooh, now that's kind of Gucci. Check that out. That pool and the lounge chairs. Where's the bride pit at? All right, that's nice. I like that. Yeah. Looky there. This stunning development offers the perfect blend of luxury and convenience, making it an ideal choice for investors looking to capitalize on the booming short-term letting and Airbnb market. Situated in a prime seaside location, it promises breathtaking views and easy access to Hermanus's top attractions, including 290 meters to fixed pool, just 850 meters to Woolies and Checkers, 1.9 kilometers to Hermanus's new harbor, and 2.4 kilometers to Hermanus's golf club. Only 4 kilometers from the Hemel on Arda wine route. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at this. Here we go. Ready? Ooh, your haven in Hermanus, a luxurious collection of 21 seafront apartments from 3,995 Rand per month. Is that it? 3,995 Rand per month? That can't be right. 3,995 Rand per month. That is, let me do the math on that. That's, how much is that? 3,395 divided by 19. That cannot be right. It must be 33,000 Rand per month. That's $178. I'll buy one. That price. You want an Airbnb and sell this? Some Zimbo is going to move in your house and you can't do crap to get them out. It's a very nice place, very expensive. Got a 14-hour outage from Saturday. No explanation from friendly Joburg Power. Yeah, the government should file bankruptcy. The road at the back is just very busy as the main road through Hermanus. You are correct, Olaf. You are correct. But the front road is not the main road. Baylor's College of Medicine's now had a 2+ decade program in neighboring Botswana, something that I'm familiar with and have been to their facilities. The pediatric HIV/AIDS program, 20+ years on. When it opened in 2003, the Botswana Baylor Christian's Clinical Center of Excellence was the first pediatric HIV clinic on the continent. 2 decades later, its impact is clear, affecting tens of thousands of children and families with HIV. Now, that story is from last summer, but I was looking for a good news story about Botswana, so I had to dig deep. That's from last year when they hit the 20-year point. Yeah, congratulations to Baylor. Only 3 countries in the Southern African Development Community apparently are prepared and capable of handling cholera. And you'll laugh when you hear who they say they are. Only 3 countries in the region. Yep. Over the continent, cholera data shows that 12 countries are in acute phase with recurrent cases over 2 years, according to the World Health Organization. Only 3 SADC countries are considered equal to the task of fighting cholera: South Africa, Botswana, and Namibia. South Africa? I'm sorry. Did you miss Hamanska? Did you miss cholera in Limpopo? Did you miss cholera in Polokwane? Cholera in Hamanska in Pretoria? I'm sorry. South Africa is capable of fighting cholera? No, it's not. That's a fairy tale. It's not. It wouldn't have happened otherwise. Tanzania and Cuba. Kissing cousins. The misogynist in chief, Lulu Sanan, the president of Tanzania, who hates women, the woman-hating woman. Tanzania and Cuba have decided to double down on their burgeoning economic relationship. On Wednesday, both countries concluded they should continue cooperating in certain industries, including education, agriculture, tourism, and health. Currently, both countries have signed memorandums of understanding regarding education and health. And my question is, what exactly can Cuba offer Tanzania? What exactly can they offer Tanzania? Not a whole lot. Cigars? Tourism? Well, Tanzania is also a tourism destination. Are Cubans going to go to Tanzania on holiday and hang out in Zanzibar? Go to Ngorongoro Crater? Go to the Masai Mara? Somehow I doubt that. So what exactly can they do to help each other? Tanzania and Cuba address unfair blockade and foster stronger ties. Apparently, Tanzania still has an embargo on trade. It's not a blockade. People stop using words incorrectly. It's not a blockade. It is an embargo. Very different. The memorandum of an understanding is focused on the health sector. Okay, now that's fair. The Cubans actually have good medical care. They have to in a country like that, run by communists. The one thing they've achieved at great cost. Ladies and gentlemen, Seychelles free people kidnapped by Somali pirates. Well done. Seychelles forces rescue 6 Sri Lankan fishermen from a boat hijacked by Somali pirates. The Seychelles Defense Force and Coast Guard rescued today 6 Sri Lankan fishermen whose vessel had been hijacked 2 days earlier. The Seychelles Defense Force, Special Forces, and Coast Guard led a successful operation to regain control of a Sri Lankan vessel hijacked by armed Somali pirates. The 3 hijackers were arrested, and the fishermen and their boat are safe. and are being taken to Seychelles, according to Susnatha Kahawata, a top official in the Fisheries Department. Hijacking came 2 weeks after Sri Lanka said it would join the U.S.-led operation to protect merchant vessels sailing in the Red Sea against attacks from the Houthis in Yemen. The piracy occurred in the international waters 840 nautical miles east of Somalia. 840 nautical miles, over 1,200 kilometers from shore. That's how far these Somali pirates go, who are funded by rich Arabs in the Middle East for stealing shipping. There's one solution for these pirates to be tried in Seychelles. Short of that, I wouldn't be surprised they want to get dumped off boats. Not recommending that. Well, Somaliland says it can get a naval base now thanks to this deal with Ethiopia. President of Somaliland has said his government will press ahead with an agreement signed this month with landlocked Ethiopia to give it access to the sea. The deal has been condemned by regional and international groups as well as Western countries, which say it interferes with Somalia's territorial integrity and is causing tensions that could threaten international stability in the Horn of Africa. And the deal has been heralded by none other than me, who recognizes the sovereignty of Somaliland, the one part of Somalia that has been governed legitimately since Siad Barre's collapse and Somalia fell apart. But the international community refuses to recognize Somaliland by and large, to their great shame and discredit. They recognize Eritrea, but they won't recognize Somaliland. Well, big news out of West Africa, where ECOWAS has just lost 3 members, all of which, of course, are being led illegitimately by corrupt military juntas who are now withdrawing from the Economic Community of West African States, where they've been suspended. Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso quit the West African bloc. All are founding members of the group dating back to when it was established in 1975. The junta-led countries had already been suspended, and the 3 governments said it was a sovereign decision to withdraw from ECOWAS. It wasn't a sovereign decision. It was a decision made by corrupt militaries which have illegitimately overthrown their governments. In a joint statement that was read out on state broadcasters in all 3 countries, they said ECOWAS had drifted from the ideals of its founding fathers and the spirit of Pan-Africanism. No, it hasn't. You criminals have drifted from the ideals of representative democracy. They claim that ECOWAS is under the influence of foreign powers, betraying its founding principles, become a threat to member states and peoples, adding the bloc had failed to help them tackle the jihadist violence in their countries. Well, all that's nonsense. ECOWAS doesn't accomplish a whole lot, but they do accomplish some things in the economic realm, and these military criminals are leading their countries to ruin. The reason why the jihadists have control of their countries is because their militaries are inept, incompetent, corrupt, and useless. That's why. Force Armée Nigérienne overthrows its government. Unacceptable. Burkina Faso's military overthrows its government. Mali's government. Unacceptable. Well, in Nigeria, people are hopeful that perhaps local entities will be able to make some money after Shell leaves the onshore market for oil. Shell's exit from Nigeria's onshore oil sector highlights risk oil majors face in Africa's biggest exporter, but has raised hopes that local firms can reverse the output decline in the Niger Delta, which has been under attack from oil bunkering. There you can see from January 2021, almost 1.8 million barrels of oil per day. It dropped to a low of 1.2 million. Now, this is a country that used to produce over 2.8 million barrels a day. It's not because there isn't oil. It's because of theft, corruption, failing infrastructure, and conflict. In Liberia, Prince Johnson says, hey, you can't touch me. Yeah, you can't touch this. That's right. Senator Prince Johnson says former fighters will prevent him from facing war crime court. Now, Prince Johnson is a major force in Liberian politics from Nimba County, upcountry. Prince Yormi Johnson has sharply warned the administration of President Joseph Boakai, which just came in office a couple days ago, to abolish plans for the establishment of a long-awaited war crimes court. He said that will just cause violence. The ex-warlord, speaking in his regular Sunday service, said the guys who fought for him during Liberia's civil war will not let him be caught and prosecuted. The war is over. We need development. What is your contribution? You think those boys that fought before will come and allow you to come catch us? Now, he's also been protected in the past because of his support behind Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and George Way's administrations, and he actually helped Boakai get elected this time. But Boakai, in his announcement when he was inaugurated, said he would be initiating a war crimes tribunal. Well, I don't think it's going to happen. The interfering Pope has condescendingly insulted Africans. Where are the calls of racism against this Argentine bonehead? Ladies and gentlemen, the Argentine Pope is once again insulting people. Pope Francis said in an interview published today that Africans were a special case in the opposition of bishops and many other people to the in the continent. That's not English. On the continent to homosexuality. But he said he was confident that, except for Africans, critics of the decision to allow blessings for same-sex couples would eventually understand it. Those who protest vehemently belong to small ideological groups. A special case are Africans. For them, homosexuality is something bad. From a cultural point of view, they don't tolerate it. Hey, listen, dingbat doorknob. Homosexuality, I'm not in favor or against it, but it is frowned upon in Catholic doctrine. You frickin' moron. You are leading the Catholic Church to ruination. This idiot is among the worst popes in the history of the Catholic Church, and that is an incredible accomplishment in and of itself. Condescendingly, racially, bigotedly, is that a word, bigotedly? Speaking of other Catholics, you are a disgrace to the Vatican and to the Catholic Church and to Christianity, for all that matter. According to the church, homosexuality is a sin. It doesn't mean you have to dislike or disapprove of homosexuals. Christians have faith and compassion for those folks. But this guy condescendingly telling Africans that they're a special case because they have backward culture. Where are the calls of racism against this pontiff? There are none, because this piece of slime interferes in American politics and tells us we should take billions of undocumented aliens in our borders, while never mentioning the vast open spaces of Argentina, his homeland, for settlement for the world's unproductive. Israeli ministers, according to multiple news reports, join a growing movement of extreme far right, calling for Jewish settlement of Gaza, resettlement, where Jews were until Israel made them leave. The far right conference urges the government to set up new Jewish settlements in Gaza and the occupied West Bank. There's no such thing as the occupied West Bank. He's referring to Judea. Several members of the Israeli government joined a far-right conference calling for resettlement of the Gaza Strip and occupied West Bank. The conference, organized by the right-wing Nahala organization on Sunday night and dubbed Settlement Brings Security and Victory, called for new Jewish settlements to be built in the Palestinian territories. The call of the politicians and activists gathering in occupied East Jerusalem is not occupied as part of Israel, came amid international pressure on Israel to confirm it would respect Palestinian statehood after its war on Gaza ends. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not Israel's war on Gaza. It's Hamas's war on Israel. Let's get the facts right. This is, of course, Al Jazeera, which couldn't find its way to an objective point if you pointed them and gave them a piece of red meat. Japan's Slim rover has come back to life. The panels, after a successful difficult landing, pointed in the wrong direction, but now they've gotten juice back. So it's back. The Moon Sniper robot explorer resumes operations on the lunar surface. Japan's Moon Sniper robotic explorer is back in action. The explorer executed a precise landing back on January 19th, making Japan only the fifth country to dump garbage on the moon. But they faced a critical issue almost immediately. Spacecraft landed facing the wrong direction after one of its engines failed during landing, meaning its solar cells couldn't generate electricity and had to rely on limited battery power, according to Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency, JAXA. The agency shut off the Lunar Explorer to conserve its battery, saying it would automatically be restarted if its solar panels began generating power as the angle of the moon changed. On Monday, they announced on social media platform Twitter that it succeeded in establishing communication with the Smart Lander for investigating the moon, or SLIM, and they've resumed operations. It caught new images of the lunar surface. Its mission can be considered at least a minimum success because it achieved a precise and soft lunar landing using special optical navigation. Wow, there you go. Touchdown near the crater Shole, a Japanese female first pronounced Shioli, which sits about 200 miles south of the Sea of Tranquility. Congratulations to Japanese Aerospace Agency on getting the power back on that lander. Maybe we'll get some good science out of that. India is parting ways with Russian arms dealers, but they claim they'll still have strong ties. There's Lavrov visiting that scumbag foreign minister of Russia. India is seeking to distance itself from its largest arms supplier after Russia's ability to supply munitions and spares was hobbled by the war in Ukraine. The world's biggest arms importer is slowly turning west as the United States looks to strengthen ties in the Indo-Pacific region. Russia supplied 65% of India's weapons purchases of more than $60 billion in the last 2 decades, according to Stockholm-based Peace Research Institute, International Peace Institute, SIPRI. Yep. Well, now they're turning to the west. Well, it's better than turning to China. Inside Switzerland's 35-mile-long rail tunnel, nearly 50 kilometers long. But it's out of service, folks. It's out of service after a freight train crashed in there. The Gotthard-based tunnel was designed to shave an hour off the trip from Zurich to Milan when it opened back in 2016. There's a photo from inside the tunnel. With its rolling hills and pretty towns and cities, Switzerland has some of the most astonishing scenery in all of Europe. Below ground, the country is almost as impressive as it is home to the world's longest railway tunnel. The Gotthard-based tunnel is an astonishing 35 miles long, the equivalent of driving from Islington, London, to Guildford. At a cost of £8.2 billion, the gargantuan tunnel was opened back in June 2016 after 20 years of construction. 6 months later, it entered regular service in December 2016 when the first train passed through an engineering endeavor designed to shave an hour off the trip. Construction of the tunnel was so significant that even Angela Merkel and French President François Hollande attended the ribbon-cutting ceremony. In 7 years after it opened, the tunnel provided an invaluable shortcut for passengers and cargoes that made their way through the Swiss Alps. However, in August of last year, disaster struck when a cargo train derailed inside the tunnel. According to the Swiss Transportation Safety Investigation Board, 16 cars came off the rails. 30 wagons. They were traveling north in the base tunnel, and they derailed near the Fido multifunctional station. The fact that an accident like this could happen has hit us very hard. Fortunately, there were no injuries, although significant material damage was incurred. I say significant, yeah. A statement released in November, they said the tunnel may not be fully operational until September of this year, a year after the damage, and it could cost up to £115 million to fix. The reason for the high cost is that the damage was far worse than initially estimated to be by Swiss rail authorities. That's an impressive tunnel. Look, I've been in that tunnel that had all those people died in that conflagration. I can't remember which tunnel. It's not St. There's another tunnel for passenger for cars. I've been in that tunnel, heading south in Switzerland years ago. And then after I've been in there some years later, a vehicle caught fire in there and a horrific number of people burned to death in that tunnel. It's pretty scary stuff. I don't like going through those long tunnels. Not cool. Finland's elections, ladies and gentlemen, will go to a second round as we expected, as Stubbs wins a narrow victory, but it's going to go on to a runoff. Alexander Stubb, the former prime minister, and Pekka Haavisto, the former foreign minister, will meet in the second round on February 11th. In Finland, you must get 50 plus 1, or you have to run a second round. Sun Goddard. Thank you very much, Gabriel, for telling me which one it was. Alexander Stubb, the Finland's center-right National Coalition Party, has emerged the winner in the first round. Stubb had 27.2%, which is significantly higher than he was polling at just 22%, followed by Haavisto at 25.8%, which is better than his 20%. And nationalist Juha Halo, who came in third at 19% and is out of the running. The turnout was 71.5%. They'll go on to the final runoff on February 11th, so we have another Finnish election to cover in just a matter of days. U.S. is warning travelers to not go to the Bahamas after 18 murders have occurred in just the first month. U.S. Embassy in Nassau posted a security alert, expressed concern that Americans might be victimized by gang violence in the capital. State Department on Friday increased its advisory level for would-be travelers to the Bahamas. The nation's capital of Bahamas has recorded 18 murders this year. Murders have occurred at all hours, including broad daylight in the streets. Retaliatory gang violence has been the primary motive for the murders. U.S. travelers are advised to be especially cautious in Nassau. Use caution when out at night anywhere in the Bahamas. Keep a low profile and be aware of your surroundings. Violent crimes such as burglaries and armed robberies and sexual assaults occur in both tourist and non-tourist areas. State Department also warned that many recreational watercraft rentals, tours, and trips are inconsistently regulated and thus come with additional layer of risk. Watercraft may be poorly maintained. Some operators do not even have safety certificates. Wow, that's going to be bad news for the Bahamas. So much for sandals. Nancy Pelosi, turning attention to the United States. Nancy Pelosi has said that pro-Palestinian groups are linked to Russia. Woo! Miss Visa herself, the Visa credit card corporation's angel and savior, Nancy Pelosi, former House Speaker, suggested without offering any evidence that some protesters calling for a ceasefire in Gaza had financial ties to Russia and Vladimir Putin. Oh my goodness. Representative Nancy Pelosi, a Democrat of California and former House Speaker and reprobate extraordinaire, called for the FBI to investigate protesters demanding a ceasefire in the Israeli-Hamas conflict, suggesting without evidence that some of them may have ties to Russia. I call for them to call for a ceasefire is Mr. Putin's message. Makes no mistake. Oh my gosh. Wow. Nancy Pelosi. Wow, she's pissing off the Democrats. Well, Fani Willis in Georgia. It's in some hot water, man. Ooh, a little hot time for Fanny's bottom there. Man, oh man, oh man. Georgia's Senate has approved a panel with subpoena power to investigate Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. Georgia State Senate joined attempts to investigate her, voting 30-19. What morons voted against this investigation? To create a special committee that Republican senators say is needed to determine whether the Democratic district attorney misspent state tax money in her persecution of former President Donald Trump and others. Wow. We want to know where our money's going. So that's one piece of news on Fani. And here's another piece of news on Fani. Oh, bad news for Fani. Trump derangement syndrome. Georgia representative introduces bill for Fani Willis impeachment. In the latest response to misconduct allegations surrounding Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, a Georgia representative from Metro Atlanta introduced impeachment articles against her on Friday. Representative Charlize Byrd of Woodstock, a Republican, introduced House Resolution 872, which removed Fani from her office. Byrd argues Willis, who is leading an investigation into former President Trump and several allies, used her office for political gain. Byrd says she believes politicians like Trump have a right to question election results, citing efforts by Al Gore in 2000, Hillary Clinton in 2016, and Stacey Abrams in 2018. The First Amendment is still the bedrock of this country, and Fani Willis can't overturn it because she has Trump derangement syndrome. It's time our state lawmakers draw a line in the sand and put an end to her refusal to uphold the Constitution. Unlike the U.S. Constitution, which says it has to be for treason, bribery, or high crimes and misdemeanors, the Georgia Constitution just says the House has the power of impeachment, so there's no definition. They could supposedly even impeach somebody for any reason at all, even if they didn't like the tie they're wearing. Wow. If she gets impeached, she can't pursue the case. She'll have to appoint someone else. Representative Ilhan Omar has pissed a lot of people off here in America for her comments. A backlash on social media following a viral speech on Somalia. The Minnesota representative defended herself and said interpretations of her speech were slanted and completely off. Representative Ilhan Omar, a member of the reviled, disgusting, anti-American, Jewish-hating squad, is facing backlash after the Minnesota Democrat was captured speaking about her support for Somalia. In the video, she speaks about a deal reached between Somalia and Ethiopia, which I just reported on, under which Ethiopia would get access to the sea. The video quickly garnered criticism, including from Somaliland Ambassador Rhoda Elmi, who called the speech regrettably unbecoming and lacking in common decency. We hope the House leadership and her caucus will take note of her public conduct, unbecoming United States Congresswoman, nor representative of the august House she serves in. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia ripped her, and I'm going to show you that in just a moment. Omar rejected criticisms leveled against her in a post on Twitter, the platform, and it's not only slanted, but completely off, but I wouldn't expect more from these propagandists. I only pray for them their sanity. Yeah, you America-hating slimeball. Yeah. Oh, wow. Colin Robinson is quoted here. Our friend from New Zealand. Wow. Colin Robinson, our friend from New Zealand, is quoted in this. Isn't that interesting? Yep, there's our buddy Colin Robinson, who's been a guest in this program. Let's see what Colin had to say. The interpretation is slanted. Omar says she's representing the interests of Somalia in the United States, which is a legitimate task as a congresswoman in any democratic system. She says at the end that all 5 territories will be liberated, but it appears rhetorical. Oh, Colin. Colin is responding back and forth. Oh, Colin defending Ilhan Omar. Wow, Colin. That's disappointing. Yep, that is disappointing. Colin is a researcher whom I know personally, and he's on Twitter. How many views did he get on this? Let me see. How many views does he have? Doesn't say how many he's got. Not many. Marjorie Taylor Greene had the following to say on Twitter. Terrorist sympathizer Ilhan Omar, in her own words, Somalian first, Muslim second. She never mentions America. She flaunts using her position as a congresswoman to protect Somalia's border while our border is invaded by millions. These people hate America, and they're so emboldened by the democratic disdain for our country, they're not even trying to hide it. Get out and vote. We the people have a country to save. Well, listen, she did say that. She said Somali first, Muslim second. And she didn't mention America. That's right. She was pandering, and she got caught. Well, CEO of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, somebody who I think is the best banker in the world, has revealed himself to be a woke fraud by claiming he's not a woke. What are you talking about? Diversity, equity, and inclusiveness, which is not inclusive, it's not diverse, and there's no equality for sure. So Jamie Dimon says, I'm a full-throated, red-blooded, patriotic, unwoke capitalist CEO, and you're full of crap. I'm going to start by telling you that I'm a full-throated, red-blooded, patriotic, unwoke capitalist CEO. I'm not woke anything, but I insist that we have diversity, equity, and inclusiveness in ESG in our company. Wow. He says that DEI works. It's just that companies are implementing it wrong. So he looks to see if people are black, or if they're gay, if they're women, in promoting them, because that's important. You're a fraud, JB Dimon, and you betrayed the capitalist system with your racist initiatives. Shame on you. I've never had a criticism of any sort against JB Dimon in the 18 years he's been the head of JP Morgan Bank. Interest of full disclosure, I'm a shareholder in JP Morgan Bank. It was originally Bank One, and then he bought out First Chicago, merged with them, became eventually the bank that bought JP Morgan and saved it. And he was with Bank One. So shame on you, Jamie Dimon, shame on you. Maryland seeks to undermine the Second Amendment by making prohibitively expensive insurance a requirement for gun owners. I think that members of the Maryland House of Delegates ought to be forced to pay insurance for opening their mouths, because what comes out of it is sewage. Maryland House Democrats introduced a controversial gun safety bill requiring gun owners to forfeit their ability to carry a firearm without liability insurance. Introduced by Delegate Terry Hill, a Democrat of Howard County, legislation will prohibit the wear or carrying of a gun anywhere in the state unless the individual has obtained a liability insurance policy of at least $300,000. A person may not carry or wear a firearm unless the person has obtained it and covered by liability insurance issued by an insurer authorized to do business in the state under the insurance article to cover claims for property damage, bodily harm, and death arising from an incident resulting in the person's use or storage of a firearm, or up to $300,000 damages. When asked about her motivation, Hill told Fox 45 News a constituent came to her with the idea that gun owners should bear some liability in cases where there's damage because guns are being used in ways that cause harm. According to the proposed law, the liability insurance requirement does not apply to members of the military or federal law enforcement officials. There's also an insurance exemption if a gun is unloaded. Wow. Unbelievable. Delegate Ryan Nawrocki said the bill placed an unconstitutional burden on citizens to own a firearm. This is Maryland's latest attempt to disarm Marylanders, law-abiding American citizens, in violation of the Second Amendment of the Constitution, something that they were hampered in by a recent judgment by the Supreme Court, which allowed for open carry of firearms. Wow. Unbelievable. These America-hating scum. Well, a con artist stole $100 million from the Army, the United States Army, and she gets to keep her pension. Wow. Con artist accused of stealing $100 million from Army to spend on luxurious homes, cars, is allowed to retire with full benefits. I earned it. You earned it? You earned it by committing fraud? You didn't earn it. You should lose your retirement. Unbelievable. Janet Yamanaka Mello, 57, under criminal investigation, brazenly claims she earned her civil service retirement package despite allegedly using the funds to purchase 30 homes, luxury cars, and jewelry through a 7-year scam. The military admitted there's nothing that can be done to withhold her benefits, as they are protected under a federal law that was upheld in government bureaucracy. The command has no authority to affect her retirement, said an Army spokesman. In accordance with 5 U.S. Code Section 8312, an individual may not be denied an annuity or retirement pay on the basis of service of the individual. If the individual is convicted of treason, rebellion, or insurrection or other similar offenses, no similar statutory authority for denying retirement pay based on a conviction for other offenses. So our bureaucracy allows people to be in the government, steal from the government, from the taxpayer, and not forfeit their retirement. This is like the ANC. The ANC has come to America. My goodness. Albert Flores, her attorney, told the outlet that his client earned her retirement benefits. How could she earn her retirement benefits? In the military, if you're a 4-star general and you do something wrong, they can reduce you back to the rank that you were at before you committed the problem. So let's say you were a 1-star and you did something illegally, you stole money by fraudulently claiming over a period of 8 years, and you wind up being a 4-star. They can take you all the way back to 1-star because you committed fraud during the time. She committed fraud during this entire 7-year period. All of the benefits she accrued during that time should be forfeited. This is unbelievable. We have a system like this. People don't even know that. She earned it. I don't see how one thing is related to the other. Well, you're a moron of an attorney, but that's your job, to be a moron. Apparently, she's being very cooperative in turning over the assets. She worked as a civilian financial program manager at Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio. She hatched a plan back in 2016 to create a bogus business called Child Health and Youth Lifelong Development so she could steal money from the Army. Most recently, she raked in $130,000 a year at her role. The Internal Revenue Service began flagging her suspicious business activity when she put on her personal tax returns back in 2017. Her retirement plan is covered by Federal Employee Retirement Service, which includes a basic benefit plan, Social Security, and a savings plan. In a press release issued in December, the Department of Justice said she allegedly stole more than $100 million in Army funds by regularly submitting fraudulent paperwork that indicated an entity she controlled was entitled to receive funds from the Army. How does this happen? She claimed her business provided services to military members and their families through a 4-H program, but instead just lived a lavish lifestyle. She purchased 31 real properties in Colorado, Maryland, New Mexico, Texas, and Washington. She splurged and purchased at least 80 vehicles. Authorities seized over $18 million in cash from 6 different accounts connected to her. She was arrested in December, charged with 5 counts of mail fraud, 4 counts of engaging in monetary transaction, over $10,000 using criminally derived proceeds, and 1 count of aggravated identity theft. She was released without bail. No bail. They let her out? She's facing 142 years in prison and they let her walk the streets. Man, this is like the ANC. The Italian Prime Minister's meeting of 47 heads of African states trying to put together a non-predatory approach to help and invest towards Africa. Your comment, that's bullshit. It's just propaganda. A non-predatory approach? What's predatory? See, look, I've been involved in business. I've been involved in diplomacy. I've been involved in the military. I've lived all over Africa, and I'm sick of hearing about this predatory thing. Give me instances of it. Not you, Gabriel. Not you. But the nonsense that, the French have stolen all the uranium from Niger. That's why they're poor. No, the French have paid fair market price for the uranium to the government of Niger. The government of Niger stole the money. They didn't give any benefit to the civilians of Niger. Yeah. Well, they signed a long-term contract. They can only sell it to the French. Well, you signed an exclusive deal, and the French gave you market prices for it. What's your problem? They gave you a guaranteed market to sell your uranium and make money. The fact that you used it poorly or siphoned it off and stole it isn't predatory. Yeah, no, it's just utter bullshit. This is more politicians running their mouth with nonsense, non-predatory. The predatory stuff in Africa comes from the other side of the world, from the Chicoms. They're predatory. Their terms are onerous. Their terms are ridiculous. They're all meant to impoverish Africans. Well, horrified shoppers call the cops in that Walmart situation, which Brett Sessoms kindly told us about. Horrified shoppers call cops on a mother in a Walmart after spotting her child clothed in nothing but a diaper in freezing temperatures and a trash bag before the worker who filmed the shocking scene is fired for intervening. Shocked shoppers confronted a mother who brought her toddler's son to Walmart wearing nothing but a diaper in freezing weather. The little boy was shivering as he sat in the shopping cart trolley in the store at Jackson, Mississippi on Wednesday. Temperatures were only 37 degrees Fahrenheit, just above freezing, yet the child wasn't given proper clothes for the trip. Felicia Nicole, a Walmart worker who confronted the mother along with other shoppers, said she was sacked after posting the video of the boy online. The young woman said it was 20 degrees or colder when the mother and the child came in. The boy was only wearing a diaper, no shirt, socks, or shoes. And there's the mother, who, by the way, you can see her there, a blurred picture. She's throwing frozen food into the trolley, which landed on the infant's legs, tossing her groceries in there. She said before the video began, another shopper draped a black jacket over the boy after his mother refused to get him something to wear. At one point, the toddler, visibly shivering with his teeth chattering. "What's wrong with you?" an older man asked the mother repeatedly as she grabbed shopping for shelves and tossed them into a trolley. She turned around and told the man to lower his voice, then pushed her trolley away and moved towards Felicia's camera. Felicia and other shoppers said someone should call the cops, but the mother appeared to say police had already been called on her twice before. "As long as you got hot water, fire extinguishers," she said before dramatically pausing. "When you come to the store fully dressed and your baby's not," the woman replied. "How many kids you got?" the mother shot back, and Felicia said she had one child as the woman turned and pushed her trolley down the frozen food aisle. Wow. Second video showed a kind older shopper, a woman on a mobility scooter, dressing the boy in a long-sleeve shirt and pants she bought for him. As she dressed the toddler, the mother stood next to the trolley, fiddling with her phone. And there she is. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The video is quite frankly shocking. I would show the video, folks, but it's just shocking. Look at the boots she's wearing. I don't know what that is, but it almost looks like a Rhodesian flag on the back of them. This woman, it can't even walk, is in a trolley dressing this little child. Here she is. Scumbag. Felicia Nicole. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Felicia Nicole. That's not the mother. That's Felicia Nicole. Sorry. That's the Good Samaritan. Sorry, Felicia. Wow. People put a fundraiser up for Felicia Nicole, who lost her job. Everyone involved in the incident was black. The people admonishing this scumbag so-called mother were black. The woman filming was black. The woman who dressed him was black. So bring your racial hatred. Black Lives Matter, not to this scumbag mother and the people who allow this to happen. The child was turned over by authorities to a family member. Unbelievable. Yeah, while another woman dresses her child. This is because people get away with this garbage. They're allowed to be reprobates like this because there's nothing that's done to them. There's no responsibility in communities, particularly that community. Walmart shopper arrested after being confronted over her shivering baby wearing only diaper in freezing temperatures. Mississippi mom who toted her shivering toddler dressed only in diapers around Walmart in below freezing temperatures was arrested after one employee claimed they were fired for posting the viral clip. Cambria Gabriel Darby, 26, was charged with child neglect after police received a call at the store at 10:30 in the morning, January 17th, and found the mother in the parking lot. Darby's confrontation and rant inside the store went viral after the video was posted by a Walmart employee under the Facebook username Fani Nicole. The employee's real name is Felicia Darling, began recording the video after watching the mother purposely dressed for the 20-degree temperature, put her diaper-clad toddler into the cold shopping cart. Several shoppers at the Byram, Mississippi location confronted Darby as she made her way through the store, stopping at one of the freezer aisles and tossing a bag of frozen vegetables at the shivering child. "She's throwing cold food on this child. What's wrong with you?" the man demanded. And there she is. There's the lady trying to help the little baby. A shopper said, "Lower your voice. Who are you?" A caregiver snapped back at the concerned shopper. "You're lazy," a man called the mother before she turned around and delivered a vulgar rant, pausing only to twerk briefly for the kid. Yeah, she twerked. I saw that. Upon speaking with Darby outside, law enforcement figured out the child was put in the clothing by shoppers inside the store, but still freezing and shaking from the cold. There's the lady who bought clothes for the little child. Unbelievable. There's the scumbag right there. She's crying that she hasn't seen her kids since the incident because social services took them away. And she was let out on bond conditions ordered by the county youth court. The EMS crews were called back to check on the child before Child Protective Services arrived. The toddler was later released to an approved relative. She says, "I have pics of every meal I've cooked for them. This defamation of my character is hurting my heart." She compared her treatment inside Walmart last week to the way Jesus was treated. They did Jesus the same way. He felt sick to his stomach as well. He didn't want to go through it. The mother 3 says she hasn't seen her kids since the incident and didn't have a decent meal because of it. "I haven't seen my kids since they were taken away from me from Child Protective Services. Last night was my first night eating a few crackers since my kids have been gone. I know this too shall pass. I know one day me and my kids will be reunited. Let's hope not. Let's hope that her children are never around this scumbag who can't even do her job. Unbelievable. The Mars Perseverance rover's helicopter is gone. Apparently it hit the ground, the blade, and it's bent, and we've lost the trusty little helicopter. Yep. My goodness. It's time to bid farewell to one of the most delightfully plucky robots ever to explore Mars. The Ingenuity helicopter, seen there on August 2nd of last year. 72 flights. It has flown its last time. While coming in for a landing on January 18th, the rover lost contact with the helicopter and communication was reestablished. The mission team saw a photo capturing the shadow of the Ingenuity's damaged rotor blade. The blade likely struck the ground, which ended the helicopter's mission. Ah, what a shame. The first rotor wing aircraft to fly on a foreign body. Gone. A statue of Jackie Robinson has been removed by somebody. Statue of Jackie Robinson stolen from a Kansas park. The bronze life-size statue of the baseball player who broke racial barriers in 1947 was cut at its ankles, leaving behind just its shoes and the statue's base. The authorities in Kansas are searching for vandals who stole the bronze size. Authorities are searching for the life-size bronze statue commemorating Jackie Robinson, first black Major League Baseball player in the modern era. Statue is estimated 100 pounds, and no one knows what the motivation was. It cost an estimated $75,000, and they just cut it off and removed it in a truck. That's all the people know. No known motivation for this attack. Well, Jeffrey's Toys, an iconic toy brand in San Francisco, is the latest victim of that city's lawlessness and its economic demise. After 86 years, Jeffrey's Toys is shutting down. San Francisco toy shop that inspired the adventures of Woody and Buzz Lightyear in Pixar's Toy Story and claimed to be the oldest store of its kind in the city, announced it will be permanently closing in the next couple weeks after more than 85 years in business. Jeffrey's Toys had this real magical thing about it, co-owner Matthew Lund told the San Francisco Gate in an interview last month. The shop is operated by his family for 4 generations. He had been co-running it with his father Mark and stepmother Rosie. After spending his entire childhood there, his great-great-grandparents started the store in 1938 as a variety shop, but shifted exclusively to toys in 1953. And its height, the business grew to multiple locations throughout the Bay Area, including San Leandro, Oakland, and Hayward. So there's the family. Wow. There's his dad with a Smurf back in the day. Another iconic business destroyed in San Francisco in the hellhole where the representative is none other than Nancy Pelosi. A Starbucks employee was fired for breaking up an attack. Former Starbucks employees sued the chain for firing him and a coworker after they successfully fought back against would-be robbers. Michael Harris, 20, was working with the drive-thru at Starbucks in Missouri on December 17th when 2 seemingly armed hooligans identified as Joshua Noah and Marquise Porter Doyle, 35, walked into the restaurant and tried to rob everybody. I thought I was going to die that day. They walked in, announced it was a robbery. They started going up to people and frisking them for their stuff. At one point, the 2 demanded cash from the register, but when Harris was unable to open it, one of the 2 allegedly hit him in the head with his supposed gun. But there's a problem. The trigger busted off. Realizing the gun was fake, he and the coworker, Devin Jones Ransom, then started fighting back. During the fight, police alleged Noah and Porter each punched one of the victims in the face. Even so, the police incident summary says the people in Starbucks were able to subdue and detain Noah. Porter Doyle fled the scene before police arrived. Both officers found them a short time later. Here are the 2 reprobates, the white scumbag on the left and the black scumbag on the right. All was well afterwards until a couple weeks later when Harris got a call from Starbucks. They terminated me. They really didn't give a reason why I was terminated. Just said I had to accept it. Wow. So, they got fired for stopping criminals from harming other people. Shame, shame, shame on them. Shame, shame, shame on them, Starbucks. And there you have it, folks. That's the news for today, January 29th, 2024. Statue, it was made of bronze, Erica. 100 pounds, made of bronze. Gabriel, I covered Switzerland today just for you. I went and looked for a story in Switzerland, and I see you were listening. Cool. Ask the Pope how many homeless people have been allowed into the Vatican. 0. You are correct. There have been real doozies as popes, prior to this one, so that's some achievement. Indeed, Charles, I believe it's an incredible achievement. So much crap going in the world, I just can't keep up anymore. You're right, Ken, and I covered a lot of stories today, and I neglected several. What else there? The problem, there's much of the properties were built on Admiralty land, so real surprise to me. Huh? What are you talking about, Charles? You talking about Hermanus? You see Department of Defense wants to sell 17 Army bases. No, I didn't see that. It's a hoax. There's nothing on the moon that says the scientists. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Keep telling yourself that. Janet Liddy's here. Just got up. The puppy is annual vet checkup and vaccines this morning. Oh, you gave him the spicy cough jab. Did you give your dog the spicy cough jab? Come on, Janet. Be honest. Entire Umhlanga, Maine was built with a river running nearby with all the rain and crap sewers. You're actually surprised. Zero maintenance. Sun got hard. Switzerland is beautiful. Was gouged out by glaciers. Yep, indeed. Martin K. Welcome to you, Martin. Good to see you. Chris Swanepoel's here. Matthew Dixon says only 18 murders. We get more than that in a day. Well, not really. But yeah. What else? Hendo's here. He says, tell Pigalosi to leave the vodka bottles alone. I think she should leave her $40,000 refrigerator alone. Yep. Wait, her name is Fani? Yep. Fani Willis. That's her name. Fani Willis. That's right, Radine. Her name is Fani Willis. One scary woman looks like, oops, something said Nick. Yep. What's happening to Omar? AOC kick her out too? 1 Corinthians 3 and Romans 1. Thank you, Christine, for the reference. She opened her mouth. That's apparently Pelosi. Omar is a rabid lefty, communist, and Muslim. Yep. Oh, she can be a Muslim. Nothing wrong with that. But insidious financial creature, Jamie Dimon. Yeah, very disappointed in Jamie Dimon's comments about DEI. Ken wants to know what the difference between affirmative action, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and BEE. They're all racist policies promulgated to advance the interest of one group over another, and they're despicable and morally bankrupt. Is AIPAC anti-American? Because I think they might be. I don't know. John, really, how does it get applied? Oh, well, Ken, DEI, you don't have to be black. No, you can be any group that's not white, male, Christian, Anglo-Saxon. That's who it's for. So DEI hires women. DEI hires gays, trans, people who think they're goats and Wiccan, whatever. But if you're a white Christian male, you're excluded. And so that's what it's supposedly. Heckler and Koch, never been down there. Italian PM already said that. Okay. Fani Willis could be, I don't know who that is, okay? Fiddling with her phone. Yeah, Ken, that's what she was doing. The video is disgusting. Mother seems to have enough money to dress properly. Yeah, that was the point. She was dressed properly, and she took her child in a diaper. No caring. I'm surprised she even took her child and didn't leave her in the car. That seems more likely to be the case. Yep, entitled, not fit to be a mother. Agreed, 100%. People like that. What did Sheldon say on The Big Bang Theory? When I rise to power, those people will be sterilized. People who behave like that. I think there should be a Chris Wyatt merchandise. Why is my freaking thing just keeps freezing here? Merchandise, and one such merchandise should be, I love Chris, boob tubes, striped top for the slender, fit, modern, addicted woman. Well, we have Chris Wyatt merchandise. It's available. There's a link below every video. Take you to a link to get it, but you can't get it in South Africa. So, Beth Fraser says that's horrible. I think you're talking about the mother. Agreed. Statue. Why did what close? People. Oh, the store, Garrett, closed because of crime. They're saying it's changing times and taste, but no, it's crime. That's what did them in. Their rent was raised in a place they couldn't afford it. They moved to a less advantageous location and walked right into a crime-ridden neighborhood. Yep. What is your opinion of Ben Shapiro? I have talked endlessly about Ben Shapiro. I think Ben Shapiro is a brilliant young man. He's not so young anymore. He's articulate. He's smart. His arguments are well-founded. So he does say some things that I don't agree with sometimes, but that's fine. People do not buy toys, mostly gaming. No, scientists, people buy a lot of toys, man. A lot of toys still sold. That's why the demise of Toys R Us was so disappointing. Umhlanga rocks, says Charles, okay. Is Anne-Marie Nell here? No F1 news. Well, I'm going to go look for some F1 news right now. F-O-R-U-U-1 news. Formula 1 news today. Let's see what we got. All right, latest news, Formula 1. Just because Anne-Marie's here. So, Permani to make F1 return as RB announced several technical and trackside reinforcements. I'm ready to go against Max. Norris gives his verdict on when McLaren could fight for wins and titles. And Ferrari name a new reserve and development drivers for the 2024 season. What else we got here? Verstappen drops Hamilton bombshell. Ooh, that's 4 days ago. As F1 team revealed new name. Let's see that. Let's check this one out real quick for Anne-Marie. Max Verstappen has lifted the lid on his fierce Formula One rivalry with Lewis Hamilton and how it is followed off track. That's it. I guess you have to watch the video. Sorry, I'm not watching the video. Bronze fetched a pretty penny in the market. Not here. Bronze is not a major thing. This is probably some racial thing, to be honest, most likely. Hey, Graham, what's going on? F1 News, no. It will become another avenue to steal money. It's fine. I'm fine, Graham. Go to California where you can't be charged for shoplifting under 1,000. Yeah, I think it's 900 something. Yeah, basically 1,000. Yep. That's true. California. Yeah, you just get away with stealing things. Yeah. No, the world is full of crazy people doing crazy things. That's the reality we have here, folks. Anyway. Wow. How you all doing out there? I hope you're all well. It's Monday, the 29th of January, 2023. Not a good day for my solar panels. Another crazy day with some clouds. Hang on a second. I got a message here. Let me see what this is. What's this? Oh, my text thanking me for paying my outrageous cable bill. I thought it was something important. Not important, but my phone is fully charged now. I can take it off of there. But my solar panel is not looking so good today. Let me see how we're doing here. Come on. A little faster here. Be nice. Slow app today. There we go. 3.5 kilowatt hours this time. Not particularly good. Only producing 1 kilowatt hour per hour, so that's not great. You're welcome for the news, Ken. It's my pleasure as always. I hope you're all well. I'm headed off to the dentist here. Got a couple hours before I have to show up and get my teeth done. Anyway, well, my tooth anyway. So hopefully things are fine. I was in a lot of pain for that tooth the last couple days. So Tom McDonald latest music video about 12 times already. Okay, you watched it, Hendo. Okay, well, I'll have to watch it if it's that good. Tom, a lot of his stuff is, it's not the easiest to watch. He's pretty good, but some of the stuff is just kind of all sounds the same. He's had some very good videos, but I don't remember his songs. That's the strange thing. So, yep. There you have it, folks. It's 2:30 already. No, it's 12:20 here, and I have to be at the dentist at 2 o'clock, so that's a little bit different there. Let's see how my other video is doing. 78, that can't be right. Just still 78 people. Let me look and see here. Live. And I did that video. Yeah, it's more than 78. YouTube has all kinds of data points. And okay, 400 views. So the video I did earlier has 400 views. Yeah, so there you go. It's the one I did on Jacob Zuma. And there's some comments on it. Let's see what they say. Karen says they're literally stealing people's salaries by overpriced fuel, overcharging fees. It's all just games. More games distract us. Yep. Anyway, so people are commenting there. So thank you for that, and thanks for watching that video earlier. ANC. Jacob Zuma. Suspended from the ANC. Wow. Can you imagine that? By the way, folks, thanks for those who've been able to contribute this month when it comes to super chats and memberships. We have a slightly larger amount that came out this month. What's going on here? Why is this page not loading properly? Come on, YouTube. Get your act together. It must be overwhelmed by people doing stuff right now. No, the page isn't loading at all. What the hell? Jeez, I'm lucky I'm still live broadcasting here. Anyway, folks, January's almost gone. Can you believe that? February's coming up, and I hope you're all well out there. It won't be long before South Africa has an election. That's going to be crazy. Ours is way down the road. But Pennsylvania has a primary here on the 23rd of April. Yeah. So after Elvis, Trump is the second greatest American. Okay, I cannot load my page. What is going on here? What is going on here? Wow. What the heck is going on here? All my pages are just all messed up. I don't know what's going on here. Don't know what's going on here, but YouTube is all screwed up right now. Sorry, folks. I was just trying to check on something and share it with you. Dylan couldn't watch it. Well, you can watch it after the fact. It's only a 10-minute video. Signals is spot, bad weather. 1:22 a.m. Well, you're in Australia, man. That's why. 1:22 a.m. Thanks, Alter Bridge. I do appreciate you tuning in there. It's the time in Perth. Chris, to use VPN for what? Everybody keeps saying VPN, but you got to have a great connection throughout the entire link. If there's a weak connection somewhere, then things just buffer all the time. You think it's buffering now. Now, I have a gigabyte of download speed, but it isn't always working. So, do most Americans want Trump versus Biden? No, most Americans don't want that. That's true. Most Americans don't want it. I actually met a gentleman yesterday who used to be a Republican. Very interesting fellow. Very interesting fellow. And we talked for a bit. He was out walking his dog. And he said that on January 6th of 2021, he changed his party affiliation. He'd been a lifelong Republican and he registered to be a Democrat to make a political statement. I said, why is that? He said, because Trump is dangerous. And the guy's dangerous. He led an insurrection. That's his prerogative. We obviously disagree, but he didn't even ask me my view on Trump. He assumed that I was a pro-Trump person. But it was an interesting conversation. A guy did tell me that if I run for office, he'd vote for me. So if I run, I got one vote, if he's telling the truth. No reason to doubt him. Weather knocked the power out. They might have been on just in time for load crap. Okay, gotcha. Have you reported on the Hrubla? No, I have not. No, African Indian, I have not reported on that because I don't really understand what's going on there. I've only gotten a piece of information here, a piece of information there. So, and it's not covered very well by mainstream media. Wife has just had her operation some on my own for 2 quiet weeks. Wow. I hope she's okay. Hope she's recovering well from that fleshing. Didn't know that. Yeah. So anyway, it has been an interesting year already. We're just a month into the year, and it has been interesting so far. I had to get myself a new Christmas tree this year. I've had some bad dental news with a root canal and now a crown. And the bad news there is not just the root canal, but the cost. Although it appears that the root canal is healing well. By the way, my root canal from last year that I had on this side of my face, my left side of my face last year, when I went to get the one done here, the follow-up, when they put a temporary in there, we looked at the one on this side, and oh my goodness, that one, the bone, there was significant bone loss from the infection inside the jaw, and the concern was I would lose that tooth and maybe the one next to it. The really good news is the dentist did such a great job getting the infection out of there, and my body's healed so well that is almost completely grown back, the bone, and the structure is solid again. There was a significant gap where the bone had been eaten away by the infection along the length of the root of the tooth in front of it, which jeopardized that healthy tooth. And that has dramatically grown back, and it's narrowed about 85%. So that's really good news. The dentist told me, I didn't realize that it takes over a year for these things to come back because the slow growth of the bone. But that's some really good news there, folks. Really happy to hear that. And I saw they took the bite wing and put the x-ray up on the screen before the dentist came back. I'm like, oh, that's good news. I'm not a dentist, but I could see that gap was no longer there. Dentures. I don't need dentures. These are all my teeth, man. Why would I need dentures? Yep. It's been a weird year so far. It has, Charles, in such a short period of time. Yeah, she's doing well. They had to get a damaged bone out of her infection and rebuild. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad she's doing well. Alter Bridge says, sounds like you can have beer cans all over the house because the wife isn't home, then put them in the neighbor's bin the last day. Well, I don't know if that's the best idea, leaving beer cans all over the place. Epstein asked Hillary to be his Valentine. Oh, my goodness. Charles is out of here. Selfish Charles is going to go eat tin fish curry on Putu. That sounds odd. I hope you enjoy it. But Charles is out of here. It's selfish. People always taking care of their personal needs instead of watching the program. Shame, shame, shame. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing, folks. Just joshing around. Anyway, but yeah, it has been an interesting start to the year. Crazy one in some respects. Look at the politics we've seen going on here in the U.S. and South Africa and around the world. The conflicts everywhere. It's just, it's something else. I'll tell you. It really is something else. It's very you, Colonel. Oh, it's very yum. Very yum. Okay, I'll take your word for that, Charles. People like onions, too, and I can't stomach those. People like sushi. I don't eat it. Not my cup. People like calamari. You can call it a cool name like calamari. It's still octopus. I don't eat that stuff, man. No way. Not going to happen. But then I like things people don't like. Steamed crabs. Ooh, Maryland blue crabs. I can eat that all day long. Yep. Kind of listen, but hard. No, it's fine, Charles. Take off. We're going to wrap up here shortly. So Hester is coming in late because of ESCOM. Hester, we've had an interesting conversation. If you go back in the beginning, Hester, after we go off air and you want to watch the program, you can skip ahead the first 6 or 8 minutes because I played 2 songs to start it and I started the program early. So there you go. Did Elvis get into politics at all? He could have. No, Elvis did not get into politics, Jonathan. For those who don't know, I met Elvis. I'll tell you that story very quickly. Some of you know this already. My parents were moving back across the states. It must have been, 1968, 69, somewhere around 69, something like that. Moving back across the states, and we wound up living in Memphis in a trailer park. We had a converted mail truck that was like a camper, and we lived in this trailer park briefly. My father was a general contractor, and he went and worked for Elvis, and we went on to Graceland. So as a little kid, I got to run around Graceland. Not even 5 years old yet. And I met Elvis. What a nice man. What a generous soul he was. I'll never forget it. And so I remember in 1978, I was living in Ohio, and my mother came out of the house when I was painting this old bicycle that had been rusty, and I scraped all the rust off of it and was putting some primer on the metal so it wouldn't rust again. And she came out of the house, and she told me that Elvis Presley had died, and I just broke down in tears. It was so sad. It was the first time I'd ever dealt with death, I suppose. I mean, and not even somebody in the family, somebody I knew, but yeah, 1978 must have been the first time I ever dealt with that. So I was like 13, and Elvis Presley died. Well, that's not true. I stand corrected. My grandmother had died in Pennsylvania. Apologize for forgetting that. Yeah, she had died of cancer in 1977, I think it was. Yeah, so so that was the first time. Second time I dealt with death was with Elvis's passing. Very sad. He was such a nice guy. Now, I saw Elvis before he blowed it up, he was still looking dead sexy, young singing guy when I saw him, big movie star. He will always be the king, that's right, the king of rock and roll. Yes, Elvis has got, that's the thing about Elvis, is amazing. He's got gospel, he's got blues, he's got rock and roll, he even sang country. Elvis was very talented. Multitasking, says Garrett. Okay, you're having a Cape Malay curry. Octopus are super intelligent and stunning animals. That's why I don't want to eat them. Crab curry is the bomb, says Charles. I've never had a crab curry. That's interesting. I should probably take crab meat and use it to make a curry. I'll bet I'd love that. Yep. Yeah, he had health issues, swollen up by the meds, but that was after I knew him. So we're only there a short time. Yeah, people waste beer by putting Coke in it. Arctic, you're showing your age watching this program. So Arctic is in the insulting mode now. He said people waste beer by, and he mistyped waste, of course. He put waistline, but waste beer by putting Coke in it. Nope. And then Arctic says, anything with American cheese sucks. I can't disagree. American cheese is hideous. It's horrible. It's processed. It's nasty. The cheese I prefer, my favorite cheese is Emmentaler, which is from Germany. And it's made in Germany, France, and Switzerland, Austria. But Emmentaler is the best, or what most people know as Swiss cheese, proper Swiss cheese. I also like other cheeses, but that's my favorite. No doubt about it. What's the one from down there in Italy that I eat all the time, too? It's a little stronger, but anyway. Yep. Crab meat is yummy indeed. Jax is out of here now. We will be having a Big 60 celebration next year or at the end of this year. Big 60 celebration of what, Anne-Marie? What are you talking about, Big 60? Yes, Jonathan, I did talk to Elvis. I ran around Graceland. I met him. He was cool. That's why I can say, I'm not just saying that because I saw him from a distance. I actually talked to Elvis Presley. He was awesome. Yep. Tennessee whiskey blues is the berries. Australian cheese? I don't think so. Asiago cheese from Italy. Good stuff. Jarlsberg is okay, but it's not nearly as flavorful as Emmentaler or Asiago. Edendammer is okay. I'm a cheese connoisseur, man. Ooh. You know, when I went to France after I was in Bosnia, the French Lieutenant Colonel up there, Hervé Huern, had invited me up to France. I went up there. He lived in Lille, spent several days at his house with him and his wife, and we'd have cheese and wine every day. And there were all kinds of cheeses and all kinds of wines, and the wines were specifically for this kind of cheese, and it's just amazing. Really cool. But I've always liked cheeses, and that was a really, really great experience for me. South Africa has lousy cheese selection. America has lousy cheese selection, except for some very unique places that have local farms like the Amish nearby in Ohio and a few places like that. But most of our cheese sucks in this country. They think cheddar and American cheese are great. They're not. They're average at best. But cheese has gotten so ridiculously expensive. You get a little couple 100 grams of cheese now. It costs you like $10, $15. It's ridiculous. It should be $1 or something. Processed cheese is about as good as a rubber doll. Well, I would agree with that, Graham. Yeah. Typical dairy farmer loves cheese. Well, there you go. I'm a dairy farmer. Used to be. Wife used to drink Guinness and Coke. Now, that is disgusting, Fleshin. Guinness and Coke. Oof. Anything in Guinness. Guinness tastes like, I don't know. Look, I can drink Guinness, but it's not something I'm going to have. If I'm happen to be in a place and there's Guinness there and someone offers it, then I'll drink it. But my late gran was approached by Elvis after one of his shows. He offered a photo op. She rebuffed him, and she said she doesn't care he doesn't care who he is. She was very wow. What a shame, Jax. Shame for her. That's a shame. She missed out. He was a nice guy. Oh, no, Dylan, I don't like camembert or brie. No. Baked potato. Oh, you guys got me hungry now before I go to the dentist here. I'm going to have to eat something before I go to the dentist. You got me all excited about food. Yes, Jonathan, I was blessed to meet him. He was a wonderful human being. Absolutely. I've been blessed to meet many people in my lifetime, including many of you right here in the audience right now. Been very blessed to meet you in person. Hendo, Erica, Jax, Dylan, Marilyn Brokenshaw, Garrett. Just to see a few right there on the screen. Just a few right there. I've been blessed to meet all of you. Lovely, wonderful people from around the world. It's amazing. It's amazing. Look, life is precious, folks, and we must respect it and treat it with the reverence it deserves. And unfortunately, many people around this world do not. They do not. They like to bifurcate and divide people based on their skin color, based on their faith, based on their origin, based on politics. I had a conversation with that gentleman who was nice to talk to, who used to be Republican, became a Democrat. We're having a conversation, and he's like, I lost friends over this. I said, well, that shouldn't happen. He goes, well, it did. I said, well, no, I understand. People get ridiculously emotional about this sort of thing. I mean, a friendship shouldn't end because someone's politics. Just leave the politics out of the relationship, you know? He said, no, but they couldn't, so I lost friends. I said, well, I'm sorry to hear that. But anyway, fresh cheese from the South African bull. I have no idea what you're talking about, Alter Bridge. Yeah, baked potatoes with a bit of chili, some cheese on top of that, some chives maybe. I don't like onions, but I like the little green stalks. I can eat that. That's some good stuff right there. Okay, I'm back. Oh, Charles, did you finish eating that fast? I hope you didn't get indigestion, man. Don't get sick because you rushed through your meal. We're just getting hungrier by the moment here talking about food. Erica says, looking forward to having you again. Well, Erica, I'm looking forward to coming back to South Africa. I'm not sure when that'll be, but I'm looking forward to it. People should just relax and joke. It's sad that people lose friends over jokes. Well, it's not jokes, it's politics. It's sad that people lose friends over politics. And if you lose a friend over politics, then if I have a friend that's obnoxious and just keeps pressing and won't shut up about something and annoying me, then that's not really a friend, and that friendship will end. But if I have a friend, we get into conversations about politics and we both vehemently disagree and have different views on things, then we should both agree that that's not something we talk about. And the adults will continue on. They'll still be friends. That's what's supposed to happen. Oh, you didn't rush. Okay. That's what's supposed to happen. Well, time must be going by fast if you didn't rush. Agreed. 100%. It's 4 months' time, South African elections. Yeah, so I got to prep for that. Hopefully not a whole bunch more root canals, so I have money for it. All right. Exactly, Charles. Agree to disagree and move on. Exactly. Otherwise, it's not real. I mean, I've got... anyway, it's... People can be difficult. Breed Brahmins. He loves... Are you talking about Cyril Ramaphosa? Oh, my goodness. Cyril Ramaphosa. Oh, yeah, my panels aren't doing anything. The sun is not out. It was really cold out there earlier, man. I'm telling you. Oof, that wind blowing. Where are the damn news at? Oh, I'm just hitting the bar, and it comes up. Still 40 degrees. Supreme Court interrupts its break for a landmark Trump case. What does that mean? Don't we know that? Supreme Court is preparing to weigh an unprecedented dispute over whether former President Trump can be barred from state primary ballots, forcing justice to convene during a time when the High Court is normally not in session. With each High Court term, which spans October to the end of June, the digest usually take a break from hearing oral arguments between late January and mid-February. Well, that's not a surprise. Not a surprise. Yep, yes, friends agree. Real friends agree to disagree and don't cause World War III over it. Yep. The right time to come back to South Africa is after May. We'll be looking for a new president. African Indian, I have to come back before May so people can write me down on the ballot. If that's what you're getting at. Yeah. No, yeah. Well, I mean, I've got all these unexpected... Look, folks, look, I'm not moaning, but let's put this in perspective, what's happened. So I went to South Africa in January and February last year. I went to the UK in May. I went to South Africa in July and August. I went to France September and the first week of October. I had unexpected $2,000 cost because they screwed up my tire replacement, putting new tires on my truck. The tires themselves are over $1,000, $1,200. So that's over 20,000 rand just for the tires. They were due. I hadn't replaced the tires since Botswana in 2010. So they were on there for 13 years. So that was another $2,000 expense there. Then I had that root canal last year, which cost me $1,300. Then I've got another root canal, which just happened, which cost me $1,300. And I've got this crown, which cost $1,000. These unexpected expenses, I mean, if I didn't save and invest, I'd really be in trouble for these things cropping up. But they really put a crimp on my cash flow. And so it's a real problem, balancing these things. So, yeah. Fiona's birthday? Is Fiona here? Oh, well, there's Hendo. Let's put a cake up for Fiona then. Didn't know that. Wow, how come people aren't telling us that? Shit, well, where the heck? Okay, now I always have trouble finding this folder. Videos to show. There it is. Okay, it's in the videos to show. So where's the birthday cake? There it is. Happy birthday, Fiona. Happy birthday to you. One of my Swiss dishes my mom made. Potatoes with different cheeses and tossed salad. Okay, that sounds good. Oh, she's in absentia. Yeah, because I don't see her here. Yeah, Marilyn. Happy birthday. Oh, yeah, you guys can go check out Fiona's latest video. Henry, you can put a link in there if you want to her channel. Did you ever have raclette? No, I don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. There's a line between jokes and dickheads. That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, well, we were talking about cheeses, and suddenly we got on this. But happy birthday to Fiona. Happy early birthday to Marilyn, but happy birthday to Fiona. Fiona's a lovely lady living in the UK, South African. All right, folks, why don't we wrap it up here? Okay, should we wrap it up, or you guys want to go a little bit longer? Longer, or wrap it up? I know some people have come and gone because Jax was supposedly leaving. I think she might have left, and Charles left and came back. So we get another view because he left and came back. Have you ever filed your taxes, had a heart attack? Of course I filed my taxes. I have to file my taxes every year or I'll go to jail. I filed my taxes every year since 1982. What does that sound? Some really strange sound. Sorry. I filed my taxes every single year since 1982. Yep. Petra Myberg is here. Hey, I was wondering where you guys were at. Have you filed your... I can't file my 2023 taxes. How can anybody file their 2023 taxes? I haven't received my 1099s and my W-2s. I can't do it. I have to have those because they have specific codes on them that I have to put in for the employers, so, or the companies that I've done the work for. So I can't file my taxes. Plus, almost none of my investment dividends and capital gains statements have come in, so I can't file. Nolufefe Zukulu is just subscribed. Well, thank you for that, Nolufefe. Thank you for subscribing. Yep, got mine filed. Now I'm broke again. Well, I don't know how you filed yours, but maybe your employer is just more responsive. You also probably don't have investments like I have because you just found your way over here, Arctic. So yours is pretty simple. You're like a 20-year-old that's only got to file a 1040 EZ form. I can't do that. I have self-employment I have to file, self-employment taxes, self-employment deductions. That takes time. That'll take me weeks to sort all that out. And then, of course, I've got to wait for all these statements to come in. Some are here. In fact, it's interesting you should ask that question because here is my tax folder right here for 2023. Yep, and right there is one mutual fund statement that came in with the 1099. And then I have my retirement income from the Army. That's 1099R for retirement. So that one's here. I have another stock 1099 here. One. And then I have another one. In fact, I have that JP Morgan one. JP Morgan Chase, I have that 1099. which is not much money. I have AT&T here. Oops, gave that away, huh? And I also have statements about the mortgage interest I paid on my loan last year, which is deductible if you don't take a standard deduction. So, yes, I've been assembling those documents as quickly as I can, but there's no way I can freaking file my taxes. January? I wish I could file my taxes. I'm lucky if I can get it done by April 1st. Yep. Especially since when I wasn't self-employed, it was much easier. I didn't get screwed like this by the government. People are still paying taxes. Yes, Mark, and if we don't pay taxes, we go to jail. Unless you're a Democrat, then they let you get away with it. Yep. Well, the CIA told me not to mention the cash I got from them. Yeah, it's probably not reportable as the source, so they have to give you a third source where it came from. Yes, we pay taxes. We pay taxes whether you want to or not. It's not like you can go and get petrol from the pump and not pay taxes. 58 cents of every gallon goes to Pennsylvania, and I think another 42 cents goes to the federal government. So it takes us up to $1 per gallon on tax here in the United States, thereabouts. Yep, here in Pennsylvania. So California is the only state that has a higher state tax on that. I paid my, let me see. So let me just read my electric bill here and see what kind of taxes I got on that. I just paid some of this last night. So I had to pay for my actual electricity used. Then there's a customer charge of $10 just to have an account. Distribution system improvement charge, distribution charge, solar requirements charge, TCGA voluntary surcharge, I don't even know what the heck that is. And then state tax surcharge, state sales tax. Yeah, and all of that came to that. Now that's my electric bill. On my gas bill, I don't think there's many tax. On that one, it doesn't break down the tax. It just tells me what the bill is. That's not cool. Let me see the backside. Maybe it tells me. Oh, here we go. So gas supply, okay. Customer charge to have an account, distribution charges, that's the actual gas I use. Then a pass-through rate because of pollution. They charge me 27 thermals at this rate. Then a pass-through charge for 79 thermals at that rate, 31 cents per thermal unit, and 28 cents per the energy efficiency rider they charge me for. Energy efficiency rider they charge me for. Yeah. Yep. And then there's the bill. So, wow. That's the actual difference. So that's, and then here's my cable bill. Here's my cable bill. Right, let's see. My actual package cost $167. It was $149. But my charges were $282. $120 more than the actual service. So I have to pay $40 for the box that I use. The modem, $15 rental for the modem. And then I have service fees of $40, broadcast TV fee, $27, regional sports fee, $13, taxes and other fees, regulatory cost recovery, $5, federal universal service fund, $2, franchise fee, $8, franchise cost, government and government fees, sales tax, 911 fees. I have to pay 911 fees on this even though my phone can't make 911 calls. That's just ridiculous. And then this month I also had to pay for my automobile club for emergency roadside recovery and stuff like that. That was $170. Yep. It just keeps coming, doesn't it? So those are, taxes are underway. So yeah, anyway. All my foreign income is declared to the Reserve Bank, so SARS thinks I owe them anything. It's up to them to do the job. Yeah, well, it's fair. Why is Mark Myberg saying Chris? What? It's crazy. It's just camembert. Now he goes back on the cheese. We have 28 million grant recipients and 7 million taxpayers. Stop whinging. Well, I can beat that, Mark. I can beat that easily. we have 40 million taxpayers and 290 million people whinging and getting free stuff. Most of the country pays no federal income tax. Most of the tax paid in this country is paid by the top 25% of the people. Almost all the tax in this country is paid the federal government by the top 25% of income earners. 1% covers over almost 32% of the total income tax paid by the top 1%. The top 25% pay over 75, 80% of all the taxes collected in this country. So I'm not whinging. I'm telling you all the ridiculous fees. And where does that money go? doesn't go to keep the infrastructure up, doesn't go to improve things, gets handed to other people. $450 water bill for my rental property. Last time that happened, the hot water system burst. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of water got wasted there. Oh, you're joking. No, that's fine. Alex Stockel. Wow, my goodness. Alex, haven't seen you in donkey years. Welcome back. I hope you're doing well. Are you still down there in South Africa? Gabriel says Zuma has been expelled from the ANC. Yes, Gabriel. That's sort of the title of this broadcast today. I covered that earlier on. At least your country is run by the taxpayer. Well, if only that were the case. If only that were the case. Yeah, if it were run by the taxpayer. But I would argue that it's not really run by the taxpayer. So anyway. Yep. Yeah, Zuma has been expelled from the ANC. You are correct about that. Correctamundo. Sedgefield is back. I wonder where Sedgefield's been. Your taxes go to their new illegal aliens joining the USA. Yeah, Charles, that's absolutely true. That's where they go. I mean, we get saddled with the crap without the approval of, we have no control over the Biden regime picking up criminal alien invaders without documentation, illegally putting them on a plane and then flying them to Harrisburg at 2 o'clock in the morning and dumping them in our neighborhoods, and then being bussed over to places and putting a strain on local churches and synagogues. And well, I don't think we have any. We have a few mosques around here, but I don't think they do any social services. But church, synagogues, and mosques in the area, putting the burden on them and the local communities, and then forcing taxpayers in the area to pay for social services support for people who have no business being in this country. That money is needed for people who are here, who are suffering because of Biden's inflation, because of the corrupt policies of this regime, because of the rapid inflation that is a result of his stupidity. Yep. Critical Minds show. Oh my goodness, people popping in from all over the place we haven't seen in a while. How you doing, Critical Minds? Yes, so the money does go to criminal alien invaders. That's a statement. Now, maybe not directly, but it definitely goes to them. That's for sure. Yeah, but most people in this country who have an income, if you're a 4-person family, 2 adults, 2 children, and you make $50,000 or less, you pay no federal income taxes. None. And if you're a family with more kids, higher income than that, you pay none. You get child exemptions, you get personal exemptions. Well, I'll get personal, but you get all these child exemptions, you pay nothing. And then people who make lower income but still make money, but not enough money to live off of, but they're working, we have something called the Earned Income Credit. The Earned Income Credit gives people who pay no taxes thousands of dollars. In fact, let me look up and see what the Earned Income Credit is now this year. Google. Earned Income Credit. $2024. Okay, let's see what it says. Okay. So, what is the Earned Income Credit? The Earned Income Credit is sometimes shortened. It's called the Earned Income Tax Credit. It's shortened to Earned Income Credit. Is a tax break for low and moderate income workers. It can provide a generous reduction in your tax bill as long as your income is below a certain level. To qualify, you have to have worked the year in which you're claiming the credit. So the tax tables for last year. So let's look at that because that's the filing year right now. Okay. What the heck's that? If you have no children and you make $24,000, you get $600 of credit. It's supposed to be for children. If you have one child, you can make up to $53,000 and you'll get $4,000 back. Someone making $50,000 after exemptions doesn't even pay $4,000 in tax. If you have 2 children, you get an earned income tax credit of $6,604 for having 2 children. Now, so you can imagine all these criminal alien invaders who come here and pay taxes, then they get all these tax breaks that we don't get. And people who are older, whose kids have moved out of their home, they're really screwed because they're paying for these people who are criminal alien invaders. $6,604 times 19. So that's $125,000 a year in tax credits. Not a tax rebate, tax credits. So if you paid no taxes, you get that 125,000 Rand just for having 2 children. With 3 or more children, it's $7,430. $7,430 times 19 equals 141,000 Rand per year. that comes out of my pocket so that someone else can reproduce. How is that just? Now, the earned income credit, in theory, I don't have a problem with because it encourages people at the lower end of the economic spectrum to continue working and contributing to society. And we need people working. So I don't, in theory, have a problem with it necessarily. But it's subsidizing, it's welfare for having kids. For people up to $63,398. $63,000 in income, and you get welfare from the government. Those people are paying no taxes. If you have 3 children and you make $63,000 per year, $63,398 times 19 for Rand. That is someone that makes 1.2 million Rand per year gets 7,000. They get 142,000 Rand given to them for having 3 kids. How does that even make any sense? But the rich aren't paying their fair share. What? Empty nesters must give up their large homes. They're being selfish. Gen Z can't buy homes. I don't see how not. You make up to $63,000, you get 100 and give me a break. This is ridiculous. And Irish coffee. Ooh, don't get too liquored up there. 32% of your money goes to the IRS, federal and state tax, Medicare. No, that's not true. That's not true, Artie. 48% of my money goes to the IRS and the state of Pennsylvania. 28% goes to the taxes I pay up front. Then I pay an additional almost 18% of Social Security and Medicare because I'm self-employed. So I have to pay my share plus my employer's share, which is me. So I pay double what you pay for Social Security. And I don't get any more benefits. I get no more benefits. It's a penalty for those who are entrepreneurs, who are self-employed. We are punished for being productive. We have to pay twice as much. I mean, I'm not getting any more benefits, so why should I have to pay that second portion? Or I should have it increased. So, 28 and 18 is 28, 38 and 8 is 46. And 3%. Well, that's 6. Let's say 16%. It's 44. And then 3% to the state of Pennsylvania. Flat tax. 47% of every dollar goes out the window before I spend it. Hey, Monique, how's it going? Casper Labascagni's here too. Biden needs these dreamers crossing the border to vote by mail. Yep. Well, no, they can't vote. They might, but it's illegal. Oh, yeah, I told my employer I see no point in working extra days when 48% goes out. Exactly. I'm with you, Arctic. Enjoy your life. If you don't need the money, you're not desperate for it, then enjoy your life. Enjoy your experience. Listen, I mean, I started consultancy and I turned down a lot of gigs. People asked me to do this, asked me to do that. Remember, I was offered a job in Madagascar. They wanted me to go for a year and were asking me, they'd give me a bonus if I stayed for 2 years. And I said, can I go for 6 months? And they said, no. I said, well, then I'm not interested. At 58, I don't want to give up a year of my life living in Madagascar, particularly when I don't have a diplomatic passport. I'll go for 6 months. It's an adventure. And if I like it, I'll stay. But I'm not going to commit to a year and then go with Madagascar and deal with freaking malaria and typhoons and corrupt police and crime and no social life and crappy food and not even have a diplomatic passport, not even be able to use the embassy. Why would I do that? That's just, at 35, sure. At 55, no thanks. Yes, the United Nations relief agency there has been unfunded. 15 Western countries spend, plus Japan. Yep, 90% of their budget. Yep, well, that's what they get for hiring terrorists. Yep, no, I'm with you 100%, Arctic. You are spot on, spot on. There is no point in doing something unless you're getting something out of it. The money that I get from YouTube, 48% of it goes away. That's after YouTube takes 30% of the super chat and they take 45% of the advertising revenue. So I am the person who gets the least amount of money from my earnings on YouTube. The federal government gets more than I do. So anyway, they're trying to move them everywhere, Charles. Not enjoying the cold in UK, says Monique. I wish I could be back in Stellenbosch. Alrighty. Yeah, no, I covered that story yesterday, Gabriel, about the UN Relief Agency and what's going on there. Anyway, folks, we're over 2 hours. I do need to stop because I need to get ready. I have shorts on. I need to put some pants on and get ready to go. It's Cambodia tax is 10%. Yes, of course. A flat tax and government-constrained spending, and economies bloom. Yep. 48% of Alter Bridges' beard hairs fall to the ground. God. Anyway, all right, that's it. I'll catch you guys later. If anything breaks, I'll be on today. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. And this weekend, it's the Six Nations. I got to double check that I still have it on my cable package so I can watch it. If so, I'll be covering the France-Ireland game. Of course, I'll be rooting for Ireland. Ireland, stay warm up there. Next week, got to be Wisconsin. Well, yeah, it's cold today, but mostly because of the wind. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you later. Be sure to hit the like button. No super chat revenue. No new members. We did have a new subscriber. Let me see if we gained any more subscribers because of that video I was doing. YouTube was acting up earlier. Let's see if it's still acting up. So if it's come back. Oh, I gained 2 subscribers. That's better than expected. And then let me check at this. Oh, the revenue screen is not coming up. It's just not there. What is going on here? That is very odd. Hope it doesn't mean they stopped letting me make money. No, it's just blank. There's no data there. All right, well, I'm not going to worry about it to keep you guys bored here. All right, cheers, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you later. Appreciate you being here. God bless. Stay safe out there.